Okay, so welcome. My name is Brittany Board, and I'm going to talk about lower elementary, so ages 6 to 9, and I am a teacher here at Lumen. My classroom is actually almost directly below us. But before I started, I wanted to say to you guys, how many of you have first years? Like, how many first graders? Any first graders? You have first graders? Any second graders? Any third graders? Okay. Any fourth graders? Fifth graders? Sixth graders? Nope. Okay. So I'm just curious for my own interest. So to start off, the way we're really going to focus on things that you can bring into the home that we're doing in the classroom. So in lower elementary, we really build on what they were doing in primary. So we take what they did in primary as a young student, like the table washing that she spoke of, and we expand upon that. What can we do as, elementary teachers and as an elementary classroom to go, okay, how can we go deeper with that? And then I'm going to show you ways that you can do the same things that we're doing in the classroom at home. So, our kids stay pretty organized and they know where to put things and they put things away in the classroom. Guess what? They can do that at home. So, lies. And all I get all the time, my child sweeps for you? I can't get my child to pick up their toys. Well, guess what? You get all the secrets today on how to have your child do that. Okay, so these are just a couple of ideas on things that you can do at home. So you'll see the left picture, I have a child he is doing dishwashing. And after lunch every day, they clean up after themselves. And this is just him washing his dishes. He's getting it ready to put into the dishwasher. And then gardening. So you can see gardening, food preparation, things like setting the table is something that they are doing in the classroom. So they already have some sort of notion on how to do that. And I'll explain here in a minute how to be successful.
The first one cost me 2 coffee cups. And the second one, every spring we go to Home Depot and buy a lot of plants and everything.
I gotcha. It can be expensive, but I can give you tools here in a second on how to be successful with that. Well, and things are, so setting the table, cooking, cleaning up after a meal. Like, I have family members and nephews who refuse to clean up after themselves after they eat, but I say my first graders can do it. And so things like that, organizing their room. In our classroom, we're very organized and they see everything on the shelves. Nothing is really packed away. They see it all and they know where it goes. Everything has a home. So I'm going to give you tools on how to be successful with that at home. Putting away their toys, drop-off zones. I know a lot of times we come inside and I do the same thing at my house. I just drop everything. I'm tired, I'm gonna drop everything. Well, kids do that and take their shoes off and take off their jackets. So I'm gonna show you how to be successful with that. Household jobs such as sweeping, mopping, vacuuming, dusting, all the things that you guys do, guess what? You can have help. So you don't have to do it all by yourself. So, okay, so this first video, what you will see is this is my students coming in for the morning. And I'm going to explain, so we just talked about the drop-off zone. So they're going to come in, they each have a space. It is the same space, it does not change. So I would recommend having a drop-off zone at your house, but it doesn't change. And it's labeled and it has a hook and they know where to put their jacket. They know where to take their shoes off. They know where to hang their book back. And you're going to see that these children can do that. So, so they're just entering in at the beginning of the day, putting their things away. So you can see every student has a cubby. They put away their items. They do get their items, binders and things for the day, which I'm sure if you have things at home that you want them to do, read or whatever, then you could put that there. But it's just beneficial for kids to have a place to put it. If I don't have a place to put something, it doesn't go, I just leave it on my counter. But because our kids have somewhere to put things, our cubbies are great to go, so they know where to put it. I don't find jackets everywhere and things like that. So I do suggest always having a space.
Is there a suggestion where not to put it in the home? Because that could, I'm sure, create some sort of like counter.
Well, I think it could be more like, what are the things that your child needs as a drop-off zone? Only you know your child. You know, this is for a classroom, but if I have a student who likes to play outside and get really messy, it makes more sense to put those, I like to have the drop-off zone at the door. If I have a student who's really into reading and has 14 different books, maybe that's at a that's at a different spot. I think it just depends on what's best for your particular child. Only you know your child and what they need and what their needs are. So, so things like that. You guys don't want to see that again. Okay, so we've talked about things like your kids can help with dishwashing, your kids can help with gardening, your kids can have a drop-off zone, your kids can clean up. Now, how am I successful? Because I can't just say, hey, I know you do this at school, you need to do this at home. Okay? That's not going to work. So, in Montessori, we believe in modeling. We give a lesson on everything that we do. And you need to show your child exactly what is expected. So, because some houses have a dishwasher, some houses don't. A house that has a dishwasher on site is going to look very different than a house that does not. So it's what works best for your space. But to be successful, you have to show them how to do it. Everything we do, whether it's an academic lesson or a practical life lesson or a lesson on anything, we show our students first. And then we model that. If I am going to show my student a certain way to put the dishes away, then I, as the teacher, can't slack. I have to do the same thing. Because if I slack, they're going to slack. Be consistent, stay positive. Things are gonna break. It's just going to happen. We talk about, we had in my class, one of our glass dishes broke today. It happens. You didn't do it on purpose, it's an accident. And it does teach things like you have to be a little bit more cautious if it's glass. If it's plastic, it's different. We just talk about the different things that are happening and the durability and things like that. And it does, there is a TikTok where if you give a toddler an egg, the toddler will not break the egg. They will hold the egg with 2 hands. And I've tried this, it does work. I'm not saying for every toddler, but for a 2-year-old, and he held it. I mean, he throws things all the time, he's 2, but he held it because he just knew that in his little mind, he knew that was special or that it was delicate. And so things like that, you just have to kind of be positive and also encourage them to do the things and have it be in their daily schedule. Start small. Don't expect your child to come and clean your whole house, okay? I mean, I would love that. I tell them all the time, you guys clean so well here, can you come clean my house? But you have to start small, something like the dishwasher. I skipped correct later. If you do need to go back and fix what your child has done, please don't do it in front of them. Because that does cause them to feel like they're not good enough. And in my classroom, when we do jobs, then the kids will go out and I will go back and make sure we don't have chunks of food on the floor or things like that. But if they see that, it's just a little bit disheartening. So I would say, please don't let them see you correct it. And then on our shelves, you'll see too, on the Montessori shelves, it's not packed full. Everything can be seen. Everything can be seen and it's beautiful. And so make sure everything that they need to use, they either know where it is or it's seen. So if they're doing dishes, in our classroom, they know where the plates are, they know where the soap is, they know how to load it into the dishwasher. Very visual pieces. But also, the more toys you have, the more toys you buy. Because you can't see all the things. And so I encourage you to get pretty shelves or, at least let them be able to see what they're working with and playing with so that they know where to put it when it's over. Again, if we have a spot like a particular space where something is supposed to go, it will go there. You know, if I'm more organized when I have labels and things, if there's no spot for it, then it's crazy, you know? So same for our little ones. So what you're going to see here is on the left side, this student has just finished his lunch. He knows his steps. We have taught them, okay, the first thing you do is you're going to spray the table. The second thing you do is you're going to sweep. You know, he knows where the brooms are located. He knows where everything is located. So here is just an example of how, oops, let me see, there we go. So you'll see first he sprays, and this goes along with your table washing, but this is a little bit more in depth, and we do this every time we eat. If it's snack, if it's lunch. So he knows to wipe it, and I'm not directing him. I'm not saying,
You missed a spot.
Philip, you didn't, you know. I was trying not to use his name, but he won't care. Yeah, you missed a spot, or, you know. And then he sweeps, because we wipe the table first, because anything that we wipe off goes on the floor, which it shouldn't, we should put it in our hands, and then we sweep it up. Okay, so, and it's, I know it's suspenseful, but he's gonna sweep it into Okay, and then, so he's a third year, and then this on the right side is one of my first years, and at the end of every day we have jobs, and they all are assigned jobs. I have a job chart, and it says, here's what your job is for the week, here's your responsibilities, here's what you have to do. This is one of my first years. He is one of the best sweepers I have ever met in my entire life. And so you'll just see he's outside, because we don't just clean inside, we clean our outdoor space as well. And so he is sweeping our front, we call it our front yard. He's sweeping our front space. And that's it. But you can see they're successful. He knows what to do. Both of them know what to do. So some of the benefits of doing this is it gives your children a sense of ownership. This little boy right here, see, this is his cubby, this is his space. Look how nice that is. And that's every day. We didn't clean it for the picture. That's his every day. He knows he has a very clean cubby. Builds independence. They won't need your help to do different things. They won't need your help to do the dishes-ish. They won't need your help to clean up after themselves or put things away. It creates a culture of consistency. They know when they come in our classroom every day what's expected. You have a job, here's your job. If you're in charge of sweeping, if there's a mess on the floor and you see it, your job is to do that. It just helps with the consistency of when they come home, they drop off. Instead of dropping off their bags or whatever all on the floor, they know to go put it away. You know, here we're doing this. It's helpful for you. And it encourages other members in the household. So if you have siblings, like in our classroom, we think we're siblings. And if one person starts helping with one thing, then somebody else wants to help, and so on and so forth. So I promise you they can do it. They can do it. So right here, to end my little presentation, is our, this is at the end of the day, 23 students doing jobs. Now what they're doing is their chairs are already stacked, but when we're transitioning into a music class, so you'll see them grab their binders, but watch all of the different things that are happening, and it's just beautiful. Oh, there's one. So you can see there's some that are dusting and straightening the shelves, sweeping, wiping down the tables. They are filling their water bottles up to get it ready for the next day and putting them in the fridge. Different things like that. So it does work. They will do these things, I promise you. Yes.
Question. How often do you have to kind of reinforce, your boots go here, or when you come in, put your lunchbox in the how often, I feel like I'm saying that all the time. So I feel like we're doing some of these things, but I just don't know if it's sinking in or what do I need to kind of course correct.
in our space, we have it written too, so that they know what to do, and like, at least with one of yours that I have, like having it written down, but also just reiterating it and making it positive. And maybe they get to pick a shelf liner that's pretty, or something to change it.
Okay.
Children thrive on, well, they don't thrive on change, but they like exciting new things. And so what I've learned is if I were not being successful with something, what am I doing? It's not the children. What am I doing that I need to change up? And our cubbies, it depends on the week. There are some weeks when we first moved into this classroom, I was like, my goodness, guys. And so it was just that retraining of, okay, like you can come back and fix this, Monroe, hang it on the hook or things like that. But even just taking something and just changing it just a little bit visually, I think helps. So, sorry, have I talked too long? This is my favorite Maria Montessori quote. Never help a child with a task at which he feels he can succeed. They can do it. They really can. I promise you they can. It's just about building that consistency, modeling the behavior and things like that. So, okay. So that's all for lower elementary. Let's see, I'm gonna pull up.
Well, while you're getting that together, Brittany, I was out at dismissal the other day, and kids were taking home those purple flyers. We sent them home purple flyers with the description of the round table. And I overheard these 3 elementary children, and they were incensed. They're talking about having us do household chores. They were I just burst out laughing. I mean, I was practically rolling. And they look at me, and I'm like, you can read. Anyway, so
Thanks, Brittany, for setting me up so well, and my voice has been a little bit strained from pollen. So I want to talk to you about the enigmatic upper elementary student. They are an enigma to themselves as well as us, and still trying to figure out who they are, which is the job of the next stage of development. Some of the things that Brittany has been referring to is true still for the upper elementary. The reasoning mind is at play, so when you're engaging them in the work of the home, they do need a reason. They don't want to just repeat a task without feeling that it's purposeful. And you can count on the fact that they very much want to contribute to any group they belong to, whether it's your home or a classroom or a scout group or a sports team. They will, that is their instinct, is to contribute to their social group. And they have a need for repeating only through variation. So anything big appeals to them. If you have a picnic table that needs refinishing, and you can talk to them about the safety and accumulate the tools that they will need to do it and give them guidance and support, they will love doing something big like that. And even better, get them a partner. And same for your family routines. If you find they might not be anxious to join in certain tasks, if everybody's doing something and it's just part of the routine, they will chip in. They will naturally want to make sure the floor, if there's a spill, it is cleaned up so no one slips and falls. And they are very community minded. So I'm going to talk about the 4th grader. Some of the characteristics of this particular age group is they're very energetic and they're easily motivated to try new things. This is the time to expose them to as much as possible, because after age 9, their interests tend to get rather fixed. So share hobbies with them, include them in a hobby of yours, or embark on a new hobby with them. And really it's a matter of quality time. Spending quality time with them at this age is going to provide you opportunity for conversation that you might not get to have It's amazing the kinds of things that come up when you're just sitting doing things with your hands, and children will open up about their thoughts and feelings in a way they might not when they're, say, put on the spot to talk. They also have a very strong sense of justice. I was thinking about my brother. My sister and brother and I had to do the dishes on a rotating basis, and my brother felt that was quite unjust. And oftentimes when it was his turn, there was crashing and breaking of things. Even a couple of years ago, he's a retired Navy officer, he's 60. And Thanksgiving meal, he's cleaning because his wife forced him, go help your mom clean the dishes, and we hear this big crash, and the turkey platter was all in pieces, this Noritake china. It was just bringing me back to that age. So children do want to take part in the work of your home, but they will want a say in it. So if they seem unmotivated, maybe talk to them about what would they like to do, and if there's some task that they don't like, what is it about the task that they don't maybe understand that you can help them with, that they will want to help out. You might consider putting them in charge of a meal, one meal per week. So here's just an idea that maybe you could think about as an example. And you could consider having them sit with a grocery flyer, have them create a list of items to purchase. Even if you feel they're ready, they might have a budget to work in. And maybe they can be in charge of gathering snacks and all of the bags that you would need for shopping, so people don't go shopping hungry. And they could even try to estimate as they're shopping, and try to stay within a budget. And let me move on to the child in their 5th year. They tend to be very happy, friendly, form good relations with adults, quite talkative, and like to explain things. So they could be your go-tos for pet care and caring for younger children, which helps bolster their empathy. An idea for a 5th year student might be helping you with the family budget. They do really enjoy surveys. That can be something that goes through the classroom like wildfire at times when, what's your favorite president, and they want to survey everybody. But it could also be what you're spending your money on. And it is helpful for them to realize the cost of things, of course. I had a very good friend, upper elementary teacher, whose son was also a student of hers, who scratched one of these very expensive Montessori maps. And so she was just telling him, how about you help me make a list of things we need to purchase for the classroom? We need to get a new one of these maps. Can you please write down the cost, which is $300, and you're just writing it down, and they don't always realize the value of these things. So having them understand what it costs to run your household could be effective, a good way, a big idea that they could enjoy learning about from you. And then I'll move on to the last one, the 6th year student. So thinking of the 6th grader, peers are now more important than adults. And I took a group of 3rd graders into an upper elementary classroom one year just to get a sense of what it was going to be like for them. It was around May, and they were sitting with me and looking around at the children, and one of them said, "They have such long legs." And Maria Montessori said they grow long legs so they can run away from us. They do want their independence. They are able to set realistic short-term goals. They can see both sides of an argument. They enjoy debate. And an idea for you would be let them help you plan the family vacation. So you can think about all the skills that would happen in an upper elementary classroom. Children will have these outings, overnight camping trips, distant trips, and they have a lot that they take part in. how to make a phone call, what's the protocol for being in a theater. So I feel like you all are possibly needing to move on, am I right? Are we okay?
Let me go check. Okay, thanks, Zoe.
They can help make reservations online, they can make phone calls, and they can also research the place that you're going, and if it's an outdoor location, research the biomes, what's the weather gonna be like, how can we pack, make lists of things that they will need while they're there. And as a math connection, they can work on a budget for the trip, and even learn when we go to a restaurant how to calculate a tip. As an outdoor connection, of course, they might want to start small and have an outing for
5 more minutes
5
before
more
we all
minutes.
come.
Okay, perfect. It could be a family hike, and we used to take a special 6th grade trip to a Mexican restaurant, and they all were ready to use their Spanish skills and order all in Spanish and have Spanish conversation. Although I did have one student who ordered a virgin margarita, and it wasn't. It was a shocker. But they need things like this too. They need those rites of passage. They need things to look forward to and have special time just for themselves to celebrate where they're at. It's such a strong time for them. And thinking about what does the Montessori teacher, the Montessori classroom do to help the child reach this full potential. They are such capable people. We really want to emphasize including them in the work of your home helps them think of learning as a way of life. That we want them to be lifelong learners. And we as elementary teachers are always looking at the child who is not there yet. And we have to embrace the idea that it's always changing, that the child, the elementary child, is always changing. They will need our support. They need us to help them think through projects, they need our guidance, modeling, and collaboration. And you can think of too, as our job as elementary teachers is to help children build a ladder that they can climb to adolescence, and then they have to throw away that ladder that we so carefully put together for them. And really nothing is permanent about the elementary child. And we have to just be in love with change as elementary teachers. And as long as they feel they have a purpose, they will want to contribute to their community, and they need that just right level of challenge. So something too easy might lead to boredom, something too challenging leads to frustration and anxiety. So we're always looking to, find that Goldilocks just right level of challenge for them.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.